Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing the album by the alternative pop rap star Ashnikko, called Demidevil. I'm headed off to New York after filming this, so, I am a little bit, this is just something I kind of want to get out quickly. Basically, I was made aware of Ashnikko, just because a bit of buzz from some friends I had. She's released a few singles and EPs over the last few years, and now she has released the full-length debut, except it's only 25 minutes, called Demidevil. This came out earlier this year. I just now only listened to this album. It actually came out in January, so it's almost a year old at this point. I know I'm very behind on talking about things, but I had heard quite a bit of buzz around her from some of my friends on Twitter, and I definitely was very interested to check this out. And let's just say I was a little bit disappointed, but more in the production than Ashnikko herself. I think Ashnikko has a ton of potential. Basically, her entire appeal is that she's extremely tasteless. She goes out there, she seems to want to turn off men, and she makes very explicit lyrics, and that's honestly kind of appealing. I see that as a bit like Cupcake, except Ashnikko is a bit less of a rapper. She does rap some parts of this album, and she also sings. I definitely say she's more in the alternative pop mold, except she's going a bit more explicit than most alternative pop goes, but it's a little too poppy for me to consider it hip-hop. It's somewhere in a weird gray area between alternative pop and alternative rap, and I'm not really sure how to exactly classify this, but it still definitely falls under the weird abrasiveness of some of the alternative pop acts. She doesn't really go into pop punk with this, which was the trend of 2021. But mainly, there isn't anything too crazy to say about this album. Like I said, it's barely even an album. It's 25 minutes. I'd call it an EP, except it has 10 songs on it. It's got a full song list, so it's kind of hard to really distinguish if this is an EP or an album. But anyway, I think Ashnikko's writing is actually quite clever. She does do a lot of kind of explicit lyrics. I mean, there's a song on here about fucking a guy's girlfriend. The final song is Clitoris the Musical, which is a joke sex song. Just generally, I do think this can be kind of witty and fun. On the main single, Daisy, she uses in the pre-chorus, "Fuck a princess, I'm a king. Being a bitch is my kink." And I really enjoy that pre-chorus. It's one of my favorite moments on here. Daisy's one of the better songs on the record. This, opens up the album. I really like the, strong lead off, and then you've got the, kind of more rap verses, and then the chorus, which has this, twinkling percussion. Reminds me a little bit of Elise, except very explicit, as I said. Basically playing into the whole, I'm crazy, but that's a good thing, or, I'm crazy, but you like that, and that kind of thing. She's playing into that whole vibe with Daisy. And it's a song that I really enjoy. She also released a separate version of the song with Hatsune Miku of all people? Things? What do I call Hatsune Miku? Anyway, that's not on the album. I just thought I would mention it because it's very weird. But, like I said with this record, one of the biggest issues I have with it is the production. It just feels really cheap overall. Listen, there's a way to do low-budget production well. Billie Eilish did it for years before she got an actual budget. And lots of other alternative pop artists seem to do low-budget production and make it sound pretty good. But Ashnikko here, she's leaning way into the more trap elements, which again is fine when it's done well, like Billie Eilish on You Should See Me in a Crown, but the thing about it is that the beats just feel really cheap, and the percussion is loud, and not in a good way. It's just a bunch of snares thrown over some pretty basic beats, and there's not really too much going on with the production to the point where I really like it, to the point where I think it ruins some of the songs. I also just think that the album overall has issues for being so short. There's quite a few songs on here that I did not jive with well. Slumber Party, that's a song I heard before. It features the rapper Princess Nokia. It's a decent concept on paper, basically. Just fucking this guy's girlfriend, this whole lesbian song, and again, decent concept on paper, but I I don't like the execution. I do not like in the pre-chorus when she talks about the girlfriend being so cute, so kawaii, and then talks about hentai boobies. It's just very uncomfortable. It almost feels like fetishization a little bit of Asians. I don't even know if the girlfriend in this situation is even Asian. Ashnikko is not Asian to my knowledge, and it just feels very awkward. It's one of the lyrics that bothered me more about this thing, and overall the song's production is just not great either. But it's alright. Not the worst song on this album. That has to go to Drunk With My Friends. God, what did they do with the production on this? It's genuinely very bad, and just the synths are all just glommed on, and the percussion is extremely cheap. The lyrics aren't good either. It's a concept about a party where she and her friends are drunk and fucking around, and literally fucking, which is fine, but man, this does not sound hot or at all inviting. It's not something I want to be a part of. Maybe that's the intention, but it definitely doesn't go well for me. Going back to Slumber Party again, the beat, I think it's supposed to sound sexy, but it just sounds like a piece of work. Like, literally, it sounds like road work or something. Like, the beat is just so minimal, and it just doesn't convey sexiness. You can convey sexiness of a minimal beat. Just take a look at Doja Cat, but here we just have this, you know, weird abrasive thing. I mean, the explicitness is a bit like Doja Cat, except she's a lot more in your face about it, and, Doja Cat can be very in your face. I can kind of see the weirder aspects of Doja Cat, that kind of influence creeping into this, which again is a whole other debate about whether or not, there's any sort of, black scent going on here or anything like that. That's not something I want to touch with a 30-foot pole. But again, going into all this, I do think she's a decent rapper. I like her delivery on most of the songs. She's got a very forceful personality, which is something that I like and admire. Again, she's got a decent delivery. Another decent song on this is Deal With It with, Khalees. One of my biggest problems with the lyrics on this record as a whole, it comes from something like Toxic, which is a decently produced song with a catchy melody, but the main problem with the song is that she basically says, she doesn't care about him or doesn't give him any thoughts. What's a sheep to a tiger? And I like that metaphor. She's basically calling this guy out and just saying he's a pussy, and, you know, she's all strong. But the problem with that is it leans into the whole issue of saying you don't care and then going to write a song about it. It's just kind of, a lot of this album, she seems to be bitter at some guy or upset about a breakup and all that, which is fine, but again, it's just, don't say that you don't give the guy any thought when you're clearly giving him thought. I don't like that. I don't like the way that's played. As I said, Deal With It is a really catchy song. It's probably the poppiest song on the record. I like the chorus. The rapping is alright. But again, I really do like the chorus, and she's basically just telling this guy off, like, I'm gonna break up with you, I don't care, just deal with it. And again, it's something that I do really enjoy. There's a few other tracks on here, but I particularly like. Good While It Lasted is a really nice ballad, surprisingly, where she has pretty forceful delivery, but she's singing instead of rapping, and it's about a relationship. This is the acceptance stage, where she basically is admitting that this wasn't gonna work out, and it was good while it lasted. And I honestly really like the song. My favorite song on the album is Cry with Grimes. I don't really like Grimes because, well, she's married to Elon Musk, eat the rich. But I will say Grimes' part on this song is pretty minimal, and it actually works well with the song. I love Ashnikko's delivery here. This is one of the best produced songs, leaning a bit more into kind of a rock production, and then just going on the chorus, Ashnikko's delivery is really strong here, and I really like that. But no, we did not need a Gen Z interpolation of Skater Boy by Avril Lavigne. That was not necessary at all. It's just, no, we did not need that. And like I said, the album ends with a joke song about sex, where she's calling out this cis-ed guy who's not giving her good enough sex, and it's just really dumb. But it's kind of comical, you know, like, weird way to end an album, but sure. The only other song I didn't mention yet is Little Boy, which, a decent song. She's basically calling out this guy again, calling him a little boy. I feel like where it does let her down again is just in the production. It just feels very cheap sounding, but her delivery is actually pretty good on this song. So overall, I really, really want to see her follow this up. I really want to see where she can go with an actual production budget, hoping that she's had, you know, enough success from this to be able to afford more of a production budget. But even, like I said, even if you're producing minimally, there are better ways to do that. So, but I would love to hear what she can do with a real production budget, because the potential here is insane, but the execution is kind of in the middle for me, and I'm scoring this a 69. That's actually how the album scored when I rounded up all the scores for the songs. That's not just there because it's a sex joke, but it is strangely appropriate for this album. So, yeah. That's basically all I have to say here. I see a ton of potential, and her strengths are her personality and some of her writing, but the weaknesses come in other elements of the writing and in the production, especially. And that's pretty much the entire verdict I have on this album, this short little thing. I'm glad it wasn't super long. I didn't have to devote a large amount of attention to this. So yeah, anyway guys, I hope you guys liked the video, and I will see you all soon. I will definitely be filming more when I get back from New York. By the time this goes up, I may already be back. So I will see you all soon, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow my social media in the end card, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye!